Hello everyone, I'm Jay Coker, Chairman of the Board of Producers Rice Mill. We're coming to you with an update, give you some information on the 2024 harvest. That's where we currently find ourselves now. We just recently had some acreage reports and things come out from USDA that emphasize that there were 2.4 million acres of rice planted in the Mid-South. Arkansas makes up 1.4 million of those acres. So as you can see, that's almost 60% of the Mid-South rice crop is right here in Arkansas. Jared Harkey with the University of Arkansas, our rice specialist, recently released some information that said we will be at the 40% harvested rate earlier than any date in history. So we're at a record pace, large acreage, and it's an early harvest. So those three factors are putting a lot of pressure on farmers, on producers receiving facilities, the whole system, in order to be able to handle a larger crop, but also a crop that's coming in much earlier. We're probably 7 to 10 days earlier as far as when most farmers started harvest compared to previous years. So everything has been pushed forward, which has its advantages, but right now it's wide open and everyone is trying to get as much of the rice crop out as they can while we have good weather. The larger acres and the earlier harvest has resulted in Producers Rice Mill handling an extremely large amount of rice each day. For example, over the last 14 days, we are probably averaging the receiving of over 1 million bushels of green rice from the farmers into 11 different green rice receiving facilities Producers Rice Mill has. That parlays into almost 25 million pounds of white rice, milled white rice. That's every day. That doesn't include all the producers members that have their own drying facilities, and they deliver to their own farm storage bins and deliver that rice into producers at a later date. So you can see every day that's a tremendous amount of rice that's handled from the farmers, from the field, through the mills, and is having to be processed and ready to be shipped. Many farmers took advantage of the optimum weather we had in the spring. The month of April presented the weather and the field conditions where a large part of the rice acreage was able to get planted and established. This has moved forward to harvest. So now we have to take advantage of an optimum window at harvest as well. There's a small period of time where we can preserve the highest quality, the highest field yields, where we minimize the impact of any negatives on the rice crop. Negatives could include insects, it could include extreme weather conditions, thunderstorms, high winds, hurricanes, anything like that, extreme dry weather, unnecessary heat during the day or unusual heat. All these things can impact the quality. So it's important that we're able to move quickly. It's important that Producers Rice Mill is able to handle the crop and preserve that quality that the farmers are trying to maintain. You've heard us reference a lot in the past. We talk about field yields, but we also talk a lot about milling yields. And when we reference an optimum time period to get the crop harvested, a lot of that has to do with the quality aspect, which is our milling yields. So if you remember back, our milling yield is the percentage of whole grains that are harvested versus the grains that break. So that's the optimum time period we discuss. For instance, this rice is probably around 16% harvest moisture. So it's reaching the tail end of its optimum period. Weather events, heavy dews, rainfalls, extended period of rain can all impact the quality. Someone explained it yesterday very well. For those of you who may not be familiar, so if you take an ice cube and pour water on it, that ice cube is going to crack. Well, moisture does the same thing to rice. As the rice gets wet, then it dries back out, it fissures, it has cracks, and that's where we tend to start losing some of our quality and a lower milling yield. We'd like to recognize the Producers Rice Mill employees. These men and women are handling this crop in a manner which, as members, we can be confident that they're able to do this, they're able to provide the service and all the things that the farm families need. We'd like to ask them to be careful and cautious as they go through their daily task. There's not an organization from top to bottom with these kind of members in the United States that's better equipped to handle a large and early rice crop. No one better than Producers Rice Mill. We'd like to also thank our milled rice customers and those that depend on Producers Rice Mill to meet their needs. We want you to be confident that we're able to handle the crop, maintain the quality, and move it through our system to get that rice to you in the manner that you expect, and we appreciate everyone.